Sorry about that. My battery was running a bit low, but I managed to find my adapter, so I've got my camera plugged into the mains while the battery's charging. So yeah, so moving on to cassette number 5, which I found on eBay in about August 2010, while I was waiting for my mesh computer to be built, which is currently downstairs. And me and Dad are seeing if we can fix it, because it keeps crashing on me. But my main computer is an Alienware computer, so I'm supposed to be moving away from the old computer. But yes, nursery favourites. That's got a lot of nursery rhymes. A clear plastic cassette. I ended up with 2 copies somewhere down the line. I'm not sure which one's the original. They're both the same, so I'm not. So yeah. Now this was when I learnt a bit more about CRS Records than I thought I knew. And I actually discovered that not all the instruments you're hearing on here are actually synthesized. I came to the conclusion that the violin that was played on songs like Where Has My Little Dog Gone, and the clarinet played on and Hey Diddle Diddle, actually a real violin. And I think Roy Seymour and Alexandra Johnson could well have been the musicians that played those instruments, even though I assumed that they were the singers. That Roy Seymour was the guy that sung on like Hey Diddle Diddle and Sing a Song of Sixpence. 2010 was when the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Kids and Favourite Songs DVDs were released, and they have a special feature, and towards the end of the special feature, that was how I discovered that the man singing on those is actually Phil Waddington, because Phil Waddington was on camera explaining that his favourite song was Song Twister, and then I recognised that voice. So yes. Until then I didn't know that the man singing on here is actually Phil Waddington, and I actually thought the lady singing was Alexandra Johnson, but I think that might have actually been Phil's sister Alison Chard, because Alison Chard's name is actually mentioned on the inlay of some of the other ones that she sang on. So yes, a lot of these are from like the Musical Rhyme Time series. Some of these are from Children's Choice, and Sing a Song of Sixpence is from Hey Diddle Diddle, but I think that may well have been from the Musical Rhyme Times. So yeah, now Three Blind Mice is like the oldest recording on here. Now it was originally recorded by Michael Ratcliffe and Alison Chard with just vocals and guitar, and you can hear some live drums which are slightly very muted. But later Phil Waddington remixed it and and added bass guitar and drums. On here it's just how it was originally recorded in 1996. Just Michael and Alison Michael playing guitar and Alison singing vocals. It's based on what I've recently discovered, so a couple of stories. So yes, and the guy who recited rhymes like Tweedledum and Tweedledee, that may have actually been Michael Ratcliffe, although at one time I thought that was either Colin Skip or Roy Seymour. I mean, you make your own judgment of whether or not to. I mean, don't necessarily take what I'm saying as gospel. I mean, I can only go by some of the stuff that I find out or what's printed on the inlay. And different inlay and the different releases, they say different things. But moving on, number 6, Sleepytime Soothers. Now, I found this cassette in May 2005 during Whitsun, when I insisted on going to Bodmin More with. So yeah, me and my family, we went to Bodmin More, and lucky I went to Bodmin More at that time because I found this cassette in a charity shop in Bodmin More, so it was almost worth going. So you know, it it almost worth going to Bodmin just to find this cassette. Right place at the right time. Now, Sleepytime Soothers. This was the first time I came across a cassette with a clear plastic one, which surprised me at the time because I assumed that, you know, until about 1997 all CRS cassettes used white tapes, but most likely this is a later release, because if I go up here, we've got Sleepytime Soothers with a white cassette. These were quite popular back in the day, so yes. Okay, so yes, Sleepytime Soothers. It's based on Sing a Lullaby. One of my favourite songs on here was Little Nut Tree, with all those, the 707 drum machine and some sort of FM synthesizer. But obviously I didn't know that at the time, but almost sounds like it's done on a Sega Mega Drive. And Mr. Moon using the same tune as Little Bo Peep, and North Wind of Blow also has a lot of those twangy FM synthesized metallic FM sounds. And Mary Had a Little Lamb is actually one of my favourite songs on here, so I remember that from when Gwyndawr had Down on the Farm. So yeah, there you go. And yes, number 7, Animal Fair. I bought that off eBay around about July or August of 2010. It's an original one with a white cassette. It's actually based off of Nelly the Elephant, and hang on a minute. Yeah. And this is the cassette. This is what Animal Fair is based on. So yes, but this is a more condensed version of that Nelly the Elephant cassette. And it doesn't have any of the copyrighted songs on it. But yes, so yes, it's sung by Phil Waddington and Claire Blackburn. And even says it on here. So yes, and number 8, On the Farm. This was actually the very first original PlayHouse cassette I found. Came across this in a charity shop in Houston in December 2004. I actually didn't know that the PlayHouse range was originally started. Now, I'd been after another copy of Down on the Farm, so thanks just as well. Again, the right place at the right time. This is a condensed version of Down on the Farm. Has most of the songs apart from Trot Trot Trot. The only other things that are missing from ELC Down on the Farm are some spoken rhymes. Not that I was too bothered about those, but yes. So yes. Turns out the 1998 PlayHouse range was not the... I mean, this was not long after buying the 1998 PlayHouse cassette, which I have all 10 of those, and I'll cover those in another instalment. But yes, there we go. Now, number 9, I think this is one of the last PlayHouse cassettes I came across, as it was quite hard finding a copy for quite a few years, but quite a lot of copies seem to be coming up recently. But I found this copy on eBay in sometime in spring or summer of 2017. And unlike the other cassettes, this was actually released in 1996, as was number 10. But the songs on here, a lot of these are actually sung by the actual, I think the group of vocals is possibly members of youth of some kind of choir group. Yes. Right, Kate, Stephanie, Karthik. Some of those singers actually came back, and they're the same kids that sang on the one children's nursery rhymes. But yes. So yes, one thing that surprised me was Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush. I'd never actually heard that arrangement before. I thought it'd be the same arrangement from children's nursery rhymes. But I'll get into that a bit later. The Rain song, that was on one of the CDs in 2006, but here it is on here, sung by Phil Waddington. Umbrella Man, that's an old musical song. Son has got his hat on, yeah. The original version of it, recorded by Sam Ambrose in the 1930s, actually had an offensive word in it. But I think this version is based on the Jamboree's version, because which replaced that word with tourists. I think the Jamboree's version may have been done in 1994. So I think that served as inspiration for CRS's version, in my opinion. There is also another version where the verse is "He's been roasting peanuts." And I may well have had a copy of this or heard it somewhere, because I recognised "You Are My Sunshine" when I heard that on a later cassette. So yes, we're on to number 10, Five Little Men and a Flying Saucer. I bought this off of the website in 2006. One thing that surprised me was seeing 1996, because I thought they'd all be done in 1995, but no, clear plastic cassette. Got a nice sort of dark blue purplish colour, and yes, these are all spacey songs sung by Phil Waddington and Claire Blackburn. On Our Way to Mars, I first heard that on, well, that was on More Children's Choice. So yeah, okay, and moving on, got number 11. I found that a few years ago, but I only recently digitised it. It's a story cassette. It was also re-released in 1998 using that same cover, but here it's, some of the stories on here are actually told by Colin Pinney and Kathy Clancy, like the Three Wishes. I didn't know that was done back in 1996. Although through false memory I thought Elves and the Shoemaker was the Colin Pinney version, but no, it was the original Sheila Ganley narration. Now there's even a Christmas one released in 1995, which is what a condensed version of Frosty the Snowman. I've seen images of that, but yes, this really is from 1995. And the catalogue number does say 25, although they're a bit, but yes, it's got selected tracks, so yes, I will be digitising that later in the year and uploading it. So there you go. And then a couple of CRS ones from 1995. Party Fun for Under 5s, although as it's a clear plastic cassette, it was duplicated at a later date, I don't doubt. So yes, you have the instructions there. Now one thing that did surprise me was I didn't know Clap Your Hands Together and Jingle Ring were recorded in 1995. I thought those were done in 1998. I remember one time when I was listening to an ELC, Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes 1998, my elder brother came in and he made up some silly verses. Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush from Son Has Got His Hat On. That backing track was originally used on here. So yes, and there's some games, so yes. 1995, got the CRS logo instead of the PlayHouse logo. And this one is one I've already uploaded, Land of Phantasmagoria, which is sort of a fantasy themed party game. This is an original one. I think I got this off of the website before they discontinued the cassette. So yes. Instructions. So yes. I wonder if these were the only CRS range cassettes they released at the time. So I think, yeah. Anyways. So yes, that just about wraps it up. And just before I go, I mean, yeah, it seems like these were quite popular cassettes, because you can see quite a lot of these copies coming up, so that's quite interesting. But as I'm running out of time, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.